The last Kickstarter is one me and Jerry had a look at.
Ooh.
This is Future World Creator by GameStart Edizione. If you haven't seen it, we actually we got a sample of this through where we took it apart to show you guys.
Yeah, poke things.
Ben, you are a big fan of the previous Kickstarter these guys did.
Yeah, so when this came out,
this one?
Yeah, so when this came out a couple of years ago for the Fantasy World Creator, I really enjoyed it. Picked up a sort of pledge on it. Full disclosure, obviously.
Yeah.
Picked up a pledge on it and it was really, really fun. I really liked the sort of drawn art style they'd done for it. They had loads of standees and all kind of things like that. I've basically now got a mountain of tiles that I'm never going to need to buy D&D tiles ever again, which is great. It's all rewritable, so you can write it with pens and sort of do it in different ways and things like that. So you build up really nice modular dungeons. This is then transferred over into what they're doing with Future World Creator, which instead of it having that sort of hand-drawn style that the Fantasy one did, they've gone full color, really bright poppy art, sort of like alien worlds and facilities and all kinds of things like that, and an absolutely metric ton of standees for aliens, NPCs, characters, heroes, spaceships that are also working on now with the stretch goals and planets and that kind of thing too. So if you're playing something like Starfinder, for example, by Paizo, this is a really good sort of like entry point for picking up pretty much everything you need to play that kind of game, which is really cool. Or as well as that, any kind of skirmish game too, which would be really awesome.
Infinity running down a corridor somewhere.
Exactly. The other cool thing about this as well is that they've sort of developed a little bit further than what they did in the Fantasy World Creator. So if anyone's seen the video that we put out earlier in the week where you guys were looking through this, they're sort of working on both a game for the terrain set itself and something that works for role players too. So the game itself is going to be for 1 to 4 players, and it's done by Jonathan Gilmore, which sounds really awesome. So you've got that kind of like skirmishy sort of dungeon crawling style thing going on there. But then there's also going to be an adventure done for role-playing games, which is entirely rules agnostic, which is called Bracken's War Blood of Edaria, which is done by Guy Schlander. So this is another separate entity as well. So they've already thought about what you might want to use this terrain and these standees for ahead of time and put that in as part of the Kickstarter as both add-ons and stretch goals, which I think was a really, really good idea. And as well as that, they've sort of worked on sort of an iteration of their app as well. So if you want to spend some time sort of killing a few hours like Warren and Jerry did, building random dungeons and seeing what you can make with it, they've got that kind of thing in the works as well. So the guys at GameStart Edizione have done a lot of work when it comes to try and like make this feel like a full product. And as far as I can tell from the fantasy one, this one's going to be just as good. So very cool stuff.
Where's my off-kilter?
Yes, it's one of our favorite tokens in it is the off-kilter token. We're thinking that's a useful one.
Yeah, they've added anything you could think of and quite a few things that nobody has thought of.
Yeah,
you're going,
it's an incredible product. I've got to say it's a mind-blowing product in many respects because of the sheer scale of the undertaking of it. And this is before they potentially unlock a bunch more stuff through stretch goals.
Yeah, and also
and the like. So
if people go back and have a look at our little play with it that we did, there were several things in it that are actually up for discussion, debate on the Kickstarter itself. So things like even symbols that they've used for floor levels, they've got various choices that they want backers to actually go in and start voting on. There even things like the card backs, how they design the standees, so whether or not you're looking at the front or the back, and they've gone, well, look, we're talking about maybe doing desaturation, or maybe we'll go black and white, or maybe we'll put a different color on. Vote now. So they've got an idea of where they want to go, and they're looking for input. So rather than produce something and then the community go, that's very dark, I can't really see what's going on there. Well, here's your options. They've got like 4 different options for the background, for the actual standees, for how they're going to do the color palettes on things, because they want people to feed in and release something that's the top quality they can get it to, and that also the community want to have. So if people are interested in this, get involved and actually go, well, I like this best. Please do more of this. Please do less of that. I don't want to see black backs.
I think one of the key things about this as well, and there are a lot of Kickstarters out there that do this kind of thing, and obviously they do it through the use of miniatures, which is fine, and that's really cool. But a lot of people will then be faced with a mass of plastic and resin or whatever that they're just never going to get through painting. Whereas this is one of these things where it's just a box of stuff. you pop out the things you need, and you can just start using it straight away.
Yeah.
So it's really good for playability. And obviously, as I say, I did back the old one, so bear that in mind. But
even things like the colored bases for the standees.
Mm-hmm.
So blue as a character, green as a non-player character, black as a villain, and red as a boss.
Yeah.
Now, I can go in and pick out this fish guy who's just coming past us.
Yes.
And this fish guy could quite happily go onto a blue base as a
do
player.
anything. Yeah.
Or I can stick him onto red base as a villain, or whatever I want. And so literally you're going through it and you're going, well, here's some human looking fella. There's no reason why he can't be one of the big beasties. Whereas this unusual gribbly thing with no feet and 5 heads, he can be my character, because it all comes down to what game you're playing. So the fact that you've got a big box of stuff that you can root around in for whatever you happen to want. If you want to be a plant-based beast, go ahead, fill your boots. Well, it's a great toolbox.
Another interesting aspect to this is the way that they're expanding it. They have a deep space expansion potentially there as well. So even your journeys between planets, can have kind of space battles mapped out and stuff. As a role-playing resource. I think that this is potentially more useful than, for example, a Reaper Bones package. Do you know what I mean? Like Reaper Bones, you get like 1 million minis in it, right? And then you have to sit and put them all together and then try and paint them or whatever else.
Great.
This here, it is great, but this, if you and your buddies, people are busy these days. You have a box of this.
You could be playing that weekend.
You're playing straight away. You sit with the app while your employer's playing for your time, and then at the weekend you're ready to rock and roll.
Well, I was looking there. It looks as if they've unlocked a tablet version of the app for this as well, which is handy. So you're not actually having to sit at a PC.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. I like products like this. The only thing that will supersede this is when we get to the stage where pre-colored minis and things like that are the norm, for this kind of stuff. But between now and then, I think this is a great role-playing resource. I really do.